Okay, the community I love out there. There's a number of people that are on my favourites out there in the community, and some of those names are actually outside of what I would call the community as well. They're amazing people. Smarter Every Day and Retrospective, or Laptop Retrospective, are amazing. I've addressed them in the previous video. Added Reg Rhetoric on there because he deserves. That individual deserves moral support, definitely, after the crap that he's had to deal with. This is a problem with very charitable communities. People will abuse that. Let's move on anyway. Let's not dwell on things. I've made my feelings known and expressed things here and there, and people are understandably angry at this and try to, if there's any anger energy, if you will, saying like Johnny Rotten, your anger is an energy. It should be channeled into more productive things. A number of things were gonna be posted. It's slightly, and they still are, for the website as well as videos. Although work has been taking up my time here and there, such is life. You know, I would love to be able to rely on this as a job, actually, eventually, sometime. That's not going to happen anytime soon. If you're interested in the other channel, Exploratory Minds Project YouTube channel, join that. This channel is really just your news and updates, I guess, for what's going to happen. You know, I'll talk about what's coming here, and then you'll see it arrive on the other channel. That's basically the loose description, the basic plan here and there. This channel is where I can be allow myself to be a bit more random and express things here and there that just need to be said. And the last video, I make no apologies whatsoever. If anyone's upset over what I said in my last video, deal with it. It's not my problem, it's yours. Moving forward, I was talking to Jerry Woodward, who does help with the website occasionally. He's helped program things in for building the social pages, as well as we've talked about different subjects here and there that we might find interesting to put out. And he's become interested in nootropics. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's just foods and herbs and different ingredients that are proven to be beneficial for the brain. I've done some research on that myself, and it appears to, if it's a placebo effect from my research, then the basic question that the placebo effect itself needs to be looked into in a more serious effect. I don't think it is, because I didn't really believe it would help me. I bought a product called Brain Smart. My attention levels and concentration does improve when I take this. Next payday I might get some more. And it's just a capsule with ingredients in that the brain does actually use these ingredients. And, you know, like the body, the brain needs to be looked after in nutrient ways as well. Although there's no actual scientific papers on the combination of these ingredients that are in this, they are the ingredients that the brain does use. So they claim to have their own research, their own scientific viewpoint as a UK firm. I'll look into it a bit more, actually, of what other people are saying about that. But I found what Jerry was working on, looking into, that spurned on his individual interest. And we talked to him about my interest with these other products. There's a herb out there, ginseng, and it's an anti-inflammatory. It's one of the properties of it. It also helps balance out hormones. has a side effect of giving you more energy, but hold on, door's going. Sorry about that. The door was going, and I had some post, and some jeans I've ordered, so that came quick. Where was I? Yeah, his research into ginseng, anti-inflammatory, hormonal balance, is their claims on this. Better energy levels, but what he found for him, pretty normal on other than his energy levels did kick up, or at least he thought so, and concentration levels, focus, mental focus, and just generally felt like his mind was more efficient. Not a great degree, not a huge amount, but it just it was enough level to notice a difference, and much more relaxed emotionally. He, at least, that was his report. So I looked up here and there. We both looked up. Shall we see what this it's out there claimed to be a new, good for the brain, nootropic. So we looked into it a bit more, and we found other people were saying better relaxation, anxiety levels are dropping, and better mental focus, better functioning here and there. So we're going to write about this. I'm going to try it myself. I have a bottle of ginseng on the shelves behind me, bought from Holland and Barrett. There's certain types. This one's called Panax ginseng. Apparently good for things down below as well, but I don't have any issues with that anyway. But if it improves your sex drive, so be it. Might be one of the bonuses. Regardless, I think this is one of the things, again, we're taking subjects and trying to find the most interesting aspects of that subject. I found out some sports people take ginseng for the extra energy levels as well. So there's that. There's other things I still want to talk about in technology eventually for the other channel, like the trap-in light technologies, like what MIT came out with, which is interesting. I wrote a short article on that, where they have the crystalline structure with tiny pits in it, where a photon will reflect back out of the pit perfectly, no energy loss whatsoever. And to me, the basics of thermodynamics seem to be broken there, in my understanding. Maybe I misunderstand it, but the MIT said it themselves, so they thought this would be impossible to reflect a spectrum of light perfectly within the red spectrum. They later found they could do it with other light as well, along the spectrum, along different colours. And it equates to so many things that are potentials for processing information at the speed of light as well. When you have a hybrid system based on these physics, theoretically, you have electrically based, but the chip themselves might not be so electrically based as conventional chips in a computer system but they'll be photon based. You're now processing information at the speed of light, and then combine that with some of the ideas in physics and things with quantum computing as well. Wow, I don't know. I think perhaps there's possibilities there. Again, the basics of this they found seem to be impossible anyway to start with. So what else is possible here and there? You'd think the reflection would give some energy loss here and there, but no, it's a perfectly reflected photon. Photon hits the surface, comes back, and reflected back, and it's still the whole photon. It's just that it's none of these photons that hit those pits are absorbed. Other photons, if they miss the pit or whatever, they are absorbed or reflected randomly or whatever. There's some expectation of how it would happen physically. This is fascinating, really, to me, things like that. So I write about that. I think theoretically there's so much potential there, I would think. I'm going to look up more information on it, because it was kind of old news, but it was reiterated because there was further progress. I think it might have been 2013, something like that. I don't pretend to understand it all, but it just sounds real cool and amazing. Other things I want to talk about slightly, moving into about the mind. Again, herbs that help you focus. Yeah, there's that, potentially. But the mind, the wiring of the brain. I talked to a family member recently about synesthesia. And I think everyone is wired slightly in the direction of synesthesia. We all use metaphors that advertise a synesthetic mindset. What do I mean by that? What is synesthesia? Synesthesia is potential connections between your neurons in your brain that don't normally get connected, and you'll have, let's say you have your visual cortex that processes what we see, along with connections to bits that process what we hear. If there's enough connectivity between these two, you might have an experience like you get an audible experience when you see a particular colour. And there's other forms of this. It's a mixing of senses a little bit. I am mildly synesthetic. Not this purple, but I have purple walls, purplish. But there's some other shades, the more lighter shades. If I look at them, sometimes I automatically get a mild taste of blackcurrant, but we do associate that colour because of the colour of the fruit and so on with that flavour, right? But this is automatic, and I also get tiny sparks in my visual field when I listen to some of my favourite music. The 3 a.m. meeting is a music track that I created. I get quite a bit in certain places. One of my favourite tracks I've done myself. I get like electrical green, blue, turquoise little sparks here and there, like little dots. It's fascinating, and everyone is a bit like it. If you have a very brightly coloured shirt, people say, "God, that shirt's loud." We don't really conventionally hear colours. You see colours, so why would we say, "Oh, that's loud"? Yeah, so we're all a little bit like it because it's already embedded into our language and in common conversation. These, and I don't think the synesthesia is as rare, as we've been led to think. It's more common, but it's on that threshold of conscious awareness that because conventional ways about going about life and how we think things work and so on, and how we assume things are not focusing on that type of processing in our brains. So it's something that is, we know it's there almost unconsciously. We're almost unaware that we are all like that, but it's on a threshold because it comes out in ways like that, in language like, God, that shirt's loud, right? So that's fascinating as well. It's something to write about. Something else I'm writing about, gathering a lot of information with. I don't know when these articles are going to get published. Some of them have been. So, well, I've talked about, the MIT stuff that's been published, but some of them are meditation practices and what you can do with our brains here and there that are controversial. That's all I want to say on that one. And writing about that is a controversial thing. Currently writing about that has its origins in ancient Tibetan Buddhism. That's all I want to say on that. And it's controversial because people might interpret it to equate to potential schizophrenia, but not necessarily in a bad way, like they're going to end up being dangerous people if they do this particular meditation practice to do something with their minds. That's interesting. I hope I've sparked some interest, attention. Whoa, what? Really? Tell me more. People might be thinking, but it's a bit of a teaser. I'm not actually gonna go full on with that until I have enough information together to analyze this and try to understand it, because I'm probably not ever going to fully understand it. Perhaps I am, I don't know. I'll have some theories on this, certainly. And if other people want to intervene on that, on anything I put out, and say that I got something wrong maybe somewhere or slightly misinterpreted, I welcome you to do that. Again, I'm ringing positive bells at exploratoryminds.com. What I mean by that is, if you have something to back up your claims, you get a thank you and a shout out for that. If you have an accusation, and just like, oh, you're wrong, without backing up your claims, then that's not going to be. We don't pay attention to that at the website. There's too many people like that who want to throw enough shit out there, accusations, and then get lucky with something that sticks. And I cannot support that. There's people out there I've talked about who are like that, but I am no longer addressing them directly. I'll talk about them if somebody wants me to on their channel. But to address them directly, they don't deserve one. Don't even a split second or it just don't deserve any time from me or their attention. It's just disgusting individuals as well who have jumped on the bandwagon of a brilliant community. So shout outs, really. That Top Retrospective has a channel. Go and check him out. All about old technology being revamped. And I learnt some things from him with the ThinkPad range, and this takes on more modern stuff occasionally from Laptop Retrospective, but it's in the name, Retrospective, so it's going to be older stuff. Steve McRae and Cheshire Vic, I said that Cheshire and Steve would make a great team early on, so just beginning early on to get shows together, and I proved to be correct on that one. I think it's great that Steve will have his terms and terminologies that don't tend to comport with like everyday Joe Blogs conversation. And Cheshire would be ideal there for interpreting that, or like Steve's gunball analogy. Bing, a light bulb turns on when I heard that. I got it straight away. His other ways of describing it, my brain shut down and thinking, what the hell are you talking about? When I realised what he was talking about, the gunball analogy that some of you know about, to do with how you're agnostic on something or other things. Basically, it was so obvious. It was just a very typical way to interpret things into what I would call everyday conversation that I'm more used to. The everyday Joe Blogs conversation. I end this video soon because I'm ready to head off to work in a bit. Again, got the blue uniform on. Blue top, black jeans, that's the uniform, I guess. I think they was talking about changing it, but there we go. You're a great team. Smarter every day is fascinating individual, like interested in certain effects in physics and science and so on. Golden Unicorn, you're lovely. Seen you on the that time of the month show. You was on the show with Cheshire Vic, talking about a recent appearance on a channel that I'm not going to mention, but Carl Curtis, you was talking about, and I love it. You're brilliant people, and the way you talk about the obvious contradictions from Kyle, and you put it into an entertaining form, is really cool. Landon Kurt Knoll, computer scientist, very amicable individual, really, obviously very intelligent, but knows how to relate to those who don't have his smarts and teach them different things here and there and explain things. Red's Rhetoric, a very charitable individual who doesn't deserve the crap he's had to put up with recently. Go and look at the previous video for that. I'm sorry you had to put up with that, Reds, and the whole community, really. It just, well, some of you know what that is anyway. These other people I haven't mentioned, it doesn't mean that I'm ignoring you. I have a lot of favourites in this community, and favourites, the most favourites, and everyone will have their favourites and most favourites. And certainly, I love it when you collaborate with things that we could all learn from, particularly Chesh and Steve. I feel like even when I perhaps don't think I've learned anything from a show you might have out there, it still feels like I've learned something. And the format is in that way. It's like it always feels like I'm taking something away. And I've mentioned my own inner demons in the past, actually in the past video, and some of your approach has helped me crystallize for me how to address that. I knew I was on the right track anyway to address my own inner demons here and there. And you've helped reinforce some of that as well. You've really helped me, and I appreciate that. Not saying I necessarily needed that, but the praise is needed, really, because it just sticks in my head when you talk about how to deal with certain things, and you're right. It's just sometimes people need that outside of themselves confirmation that are they on the right track. Ringing that positive bell is what I'm saying. Would have been fine going on the right track without that, probably. But when you have confirmation from outside of yourself to say, hey, this is what we think, and then you discover, oh, this is in line with what I'm doing, and it's working for me as well. Great. Keep up the good work. You're doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I love you all. You're utterly amazing. And you deserve all the praise out there. That's all I've got to say, really. Number of things I do in my diets as well. Hopefully, I might get into that in the next video. I don't have enough time at the moment. But changing my diet. Going to be losing body fat. And hopefully destroy my cravings. Everyone has cravings now and then. You might think that's not possible. It is possible because I've done it before. And, we'll get into some details on that, perhaps. We'll see. Anyway, that's all I've got to share for now, anyway. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to subscribe, please do. If you want to donate, please do. Donation links below. Comment, rate, and subscribe. All the cool stuff. If you're not interested, doesn't matter. Look at somebody else's YouTube video. Not really bothered if you're not interested, but I'm certainly interested if you are interested as well. And if you appreciate what I'm trying to do, please comment below, because that gives me that feedback. Even if it's just to say hi, I hope you're doing well. More people should comment under people's videos a lot more, I think. There's certain groups that they do prolifically, other groups that don't, whereas some of those people in those groups are making really cool videos. So just support people that you like, do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and we can all move forward, right? Cheers. Take care. Stay awesome. Bye.